You want to give it a shot?
Probably not.
All right. You want to take some info home? I'm sure some information actually.
What is it about?
Well, here. I mean, I don't know if you want to just do like it's 2 easy questions real quick, and then I could introduce the subject. And if not, then I could just give you the information. Want to give it a shot real quick?
All right.
All right. So the first one is a perception test. Okay. So one of these circles is actually slightly bigger than the other one. Okay. So I'm trying to see if people can get it. So I'm trying to see if people can get 1 out of 2. It's 2 questions. So this is the first one.
Okay.
So which one's the bigger one, red or blue? One's slightly bigger.
I'll tell you something. I'm colorblind, so it's.
So left or right from your perspective, which one's bigger?
Which one is bigger?
Yeah.
To me, they look the same size.
Okay, so
one of them is bigger.
One of them is bigger.
Oh.
But if you had to make a choice, based on your judgment.
I would go with this one if I had to, but they look the same.
Okay. They're kind of young. Okay, so you actually got it right.
Oh, really?
They actually are the same. But the reason I start with this because most people actually just pick one. Okay. And the reason I do start with this is because just believing someone opens the door to being deceived. Okay. But you were kind of in the middle, you kind of chose one still because I told you kind of to. But your discernment was telling you they're the same though. But that's good. So because this next one's very easy. You know what this is, right? A level.
Yeah.
Right. So what do we use these for?
To keep things level.
Like what would be the definition of level then?
It being
horizontal. Can we say horizontal?
Yeah.
Right.
You had that.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
And would you agree or disagree though? Water always takes the shape of the container, and the surface always equalizes. Always forms a horizontal line, right? Like the surface of the lake as well.
Like water always finds the level.
Finds the level, exactly, right? Right.
Yeah.
Since we understand the physics of water and what level means, this next one's elementary level. This one's super easy. So which one's correct, A or B? And since we understand, the physics of water and what level means. It's very easy, elementary level.
Okay.
Yes. So if the surface of water always, evens out, equalizes, levels out,
right.
Which ones represents that, A or B? Looking at the water, displayed on there. Okay. If the level, if we formed a perfectly level structure over a body of water, for example.
Okay.
Which one represents reality, basically? Will the water be parallel to the horizontal structure, or will the water deviate from the horizontal structure once the water is contained?
I don't even know. I don't know why I'm thinking this one. If logically it would seem like this is the one.
I mean, yeah, logically, this is like I said, very simple. Simple logic, common sense. If you had to pick, which one would you go with? If we were to build a perfectly level structure over a body of water like the lake right here,
right?
Which one is correct? Which one represents level correctly? It's very easy.
Okay, is it this one?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's the correct answer. Yeah, that's obvious. You kind of overthink it there a bit, but no, I understand. Since I started with the trick question, but the reason I do this is because over 95% of the population, even though this is the simple answer, the physics of water, it doesn't matter if I make this container 1,000 times the size, the water inside is always going to behave the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The water inside will never form a hump or a dip, or never stick to the side of the bottle and form a slanted slope. It's always going to form a horizontal. Once the water stops moving, right? You might have waves on it, but once, but so over 95% believe it. You want to know why most of the people, maybe even you, believe this one, even though we know it's this one? Because I did too. The reason why is, do you believe the Earth is a ball?
That the Earth is
the Earth is a ball?
Yeah.
A sphere, right?
Yeah.
So they tell us that the Earth has a certain dimension, right? Because NASA claims to orbit the Earth, right? So they need to know the radius of orbit. So they actually tell us that the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles. So these are NASA numbers.
Yeah.
So this is the exact formula for the Earth's curvature based on what they're telling us.
Okay.
So it should be curving or dipping 8 inches per mile square. Okay. So what that means is that at the first mile, this should be at 8-inch drop. At the second mile, a 32-inch drop. And by the third mile, this should be a 72 inches, which is 6 feet. So basically, there should be a 6-foot measurable drop at every body of water on Earth. Every lake, every ocean should be displaying this curvature. You know what I'm saying? But if we were to actually build a perfectly level structure over a body of water, we understand the physics of water is always going to be horizontal. So this is what represents reality, and this is what they're telling us it is. But we understand, again, if we go to physics and we not just believe someone, we understand that the Earth is level, not a ball. So have you heard of people questioning the globe? That
Yeah.
what would be your number one proof that convinces you that the Earth is a ball? If I was to ask you,
I have no clue.
no clue. You just go with consensus. That the majority you were probably told, right? That's pretty honest of you, because what convinced me was photographs of Earth. But I actually looked into this, and if you look into this, NASA admits they're not photographs. They're actually Photoshop, so they're CGI. So they admit they have an artist supposedly stitched together, strips of the Earth, and then he stitches them into a globe, and then he puts clouds in and basically creates it, a globe. So no photograph of the Earth exists. And you want to know one of the reasons why I think that doesn't, you first of all, I think the highest human beings have ever gone, 20 miles. So let me just show you quick photographs real quick about that. So this is how high human beings have sent helium balloons, amateur balloons, a lot of civilians like me and you, hundreds of videos of sending not GoPro cameras, but just without a GoPro lens. Because I don't know if you knew, GoPros kind of warp the horizon, right? Here, I actually have an example of that. GoPros, curve horizons, but without a GoPro lens, it's perfectly level, 20 miles. This is 4 times higher than airplanes fly. So when people say, oh, I see the curvature from an airplane, well, that's impossible, because everybody that sends helium balloons 20 miles up, horizontal, and it rises to eye level. The horizon rises with you, If the Earth was a globe, it'll stay fixed. The horizon should stay fixed, and as you rise up, you should look down at the Earth, eventually. But the Earth always, the horizon always rises with you. That would only happen if the Earth was a plane, which it is, basically. So, how long ago have you heard about this topic, if you don't mind me asking? People questioning the globe, like people that question the globe.
I've heard it, I don't know, I would say probably in high school the first time.
Oh, in high school? Oh, really? Because I actually didn't hear about this till about 6 years ago. I'm actually about to be 31. So when I was 24, I heard about this. So I never really heard about it. Maybe I did hear about it, like in history class, but I don't remember really. But this information actually kind of exploded on the internet in 2016, and it's been censored since like 2018, 2019. And that's literally the only reason why I'm here, literally. I actually just started coming out here about 3 months ago, talking to the public about this, because if you go out and search like on Google or YouTube, you put globe Earth lie or flat Earth, right? Because flat Earth is actually a term that was used to be mocked, basically, so that this topic could be mocked, because the Earth has high points and low points. It has mountains and valleys, so it's not flat, obviously. And another thing about flat is that you could have a flat paper, but if it's at a slant or like this, it's not level. So the correct term for the Earth is not flat Earth; it's the Earth is level. Because again, high points and low points, but ultimately it's a level plane.
So is it just like never ending then?
That's the thing. Some people think it's infinite. My opinion is that, to be honest, nobody knows the dimensions of the Earth, so that's unknown. A lot of people think that the army and all the black ops and all that, like the secret stuff they're actually doing, is actually they're still exploring the Earth. So a lot of people, I probably still think that too. They're probably still exploring this place, and that's the real black ops information, the real secret information. But yeah, so the dimensions of the Earth are unknown. And another thing about this that a lot of people have a hard time understanding is outer space is actually, I don't know if you knew, but it's just a concept. So what that means is just an idea. So someone's imagination, basically. So the distance to the stars, all of that is just someone's imagination, like I said. So it's basically just a story. So the stars actually have some images of what they actually look like. So this is what the stars actually look like when somebody zooms in with a powerful zoom camera or telescope. And they look completely different than what they actually show us, like, for example, like the planets. These are the planets, and they're literally at the same distance as the stars, and I think these are no more than like 1,000 miles in the sky. I think there might be some kind of ceiling above us, and the stars are literally there, because you shouldn't be able to zoom into them. Look how they look, and the planets, they look just like the stars, because, I don't know if you knew, planet was a word that it used to mean wandering. So the reason why they're called planets is because they used to be wandering stars. They have your unique paths, from these. These are fixed. But yeah, these, I don't know if you knew, they used to use them as triangulation for navigation back in the day, right? The sailors. That's only possible from a level, because triangles, don't have curved bases. If a triangle has a curved base, it wouldn't add up to 180 degrees. So you wouldn't be able to, we wouldn't be able to use it to calculate it, basically. So no, yeah, this is a pretty big topic,
That's interesting.
Yeah, so here, let me give you some info real quick.
So how about like satellites and things that are out
right.
in orbit?
Oh, shoot.
You want to pick that up?
Yeah, I got it. So satellites, yeah. So satellites, So if you Google satellites and you go to images, for example, you will not find a real, it's like the Earth. No photographs of satellite in space exist. So you'll find a real photograph of a satellite here on Earth, like for demonstration purposes, right? But then when you try to look for one that's floating in outer space, it's just a cartoon. So again, outer space is just a concept. Nobody's ever been over 20 miles high. So when NASA shoots their rockets up, I don't know if you've ever seen, they always go on a curve. You know, you should look it up. You know, they always go on a curve. And the reason why, again, a lot of people think if they go straight up, they'll hit a ceiling above us. You know, who knows if there is, I don't know, but there might be. But they go on a curve until basically they go out of sight. And the second they go out of sight, they cut to CGI. You know what I'm saying? So that's when they say that they're in low Earth orbit now, 2,000 miles in the sky. But no, in my opinion, again, 20 miles is our limit. You know, and I don't know if you knew the Red Bull jump, the Felix something, you know, the guy that he did the Red Bull jump, right? From the edge of space, right? With the GoPro. With the GoPro, exactly. Yeah. So he actually went 118,000 feet, which is right around 20 miles. And guess how he achieved that? With a giant helium balloon. I don't think a motor vehicle can make it that high, I think. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying, why did you use a helium balloon and not like an airplane, for example, right? But he used a helium balloon just like everybody else that sends a balloon up, and he only reached 20 miles. And then that's when he jumped. You know, but again, perfectly level horizon from the camera inside, but the GoPro he was using is the one that curved, warp, exactly. But no, this is a pretty. Do you have any other questions or something? You know,
just interesting to hear.
Yeah, right. Like, so here, let me give you some info before I forget. And these are the 6 main proofs. And again, I did this because again, it's being censored. If you try to look for it, you won't come across any genuine people or any genuine information. There's a lot of fucking sellouts on the internet, and yeah, they're gonna mock this. They're gonna ridicule it. They'll never get to any of the proofs. Put it that way. And yeah, you could check it out. These are the main proofs. And then here's my card. I have conversations like this all the time. You know, and yeah, you could check it out.
Cool.
You know.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for stopping, man. Thanks for the conversation.
You got it.
No, yeah. Yeah, the Euclidean plane geometry is another pretty solid one. Construction, blueprints of construction, they're all level, all horizontal.
Cool. I'll check it out. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks for stopping, man.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
You
all right,
too.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
What is that?
You guys want to try it?
You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, it's okay. Are you guys still in? You guys are still in school, right?
Yeah.
What grade are you guys in?
I'm going to 8th grade.
8th grade? 8th grade, both of you? Oh, okay, so it should be easy, very easy. So it's very 2 easy question, elementary level.
Okay.
So the first one's a perception test. One of these circles is slightly bigger than the other one, and I'm trying to see if people can get the right one. Which one's the bigger one? The red one? Which one do you think?
This one.
The blue one. Okay, so this was a trick question. So they're the same size.
Oh,
So yeah. Yeah. So the reason I start off with this one is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's pretty obvious, right? So this next one, don't take my word for it. It's actually pretty common sense. And it has to do with these. Have you guys ever seen one of these before?
Yes.
Yeah. What do they use these for?
Like for paintings, leveling them?
Leveling.
Yeah,
What would be the
stuff.
definition of level? Like a simple definition.
Balance.
Balance, even.
Even, yeah.
Horizontal will be the proper term,
Yeah.
right? Because something that's horizontal, it's, you know, it's not on a slope. Basically, that's what level means, right? So I don't know if you knew, though, water always takes the shape of the container, and the surface always equalizes. Like when you fill up, you know, water in your cup, or when you fill up a pool in the lake, for example, the surface is always horizontal, right?
Yeah.
So that's why there's liquid in these, you know,
Yeah.
with the bubble, right? So this next one, again, very easy. I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna get it. Everybody gets it right. It's obvious. So A or B, which one's correct, since we understand the physics of water and what level means?
Which represents water?
A, right? That was quick.
Hey.
Yeah, that's the obvious one, right?
Yeah.
She picked it pretty good. So yeah, that's the obvious answer. So the reason I do this is because over 95% of the population, maybe even including you guys, because I did too,
Yeah.
believe the answer is B, even though we know it's A.
Yeah.
You guys want to know why?
Why?
Do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
Yes.
Right? You guys
Yeah.
do, right? Because I
Yeah.
did too, right? So they tell us that the Earth has a certain dimension, NASA, right? They claim
Yeah.
to go to the moon in space, right? And they claim to orbit the Earth, right?
Yeah.
So they claim to know the radius of orbit,
Yeah.
which means, you know, the distance from the center to the edge of the circle, right? So the edge, the radius is 3,959. That's what they tell us. So there needs to be curvature, measurable curvature. There needs to be 8 inches per mile squared. So every mile there's going to be an 8-inch drop, and then the second mile it's going to be a 32-inch drop.
Yeah.
And then so this is the exact curvature rate for what they tell us. But if we were actually to go out and measure if this is true, we understand physics, water always equalizes on the surface. That's why, have you guys ever heard of the term sea level?
Yeah.
Right? The oceans? The reason why they're called sea level is because the oceans are level. They're horizontal. The oceans are not warping around the globe.
Yeah.
So we were basically been lied to about, where we live. So if I was to ask you guys, what's the number one proof that convinces you that the earth is a globe? And you could be honest, if there's something that doesn't...
Like how the world kind of curves, like how the trees are like that in the roots and stuff.
Okay, no, but you're saying so like the ground is not even, right? So that's obvious, right? So the earth has high points and low points, like mountains and valleys. So what we'll measure is the water. That's what we're going to measure.
Okay.
Because they're claiming that level means curve. That's because the majority of earth is water, right? Covered in water. So that's what we're going to measure, the surface of water. Because again, I would admit, the ground is going to be uneven. It's going to be, and we're not going to get a definitive measurement. But if we measure water, there's no going around that. Everybody has to agree that the surface of water either is horizontal or curving.
Yeah.
So we should be able to measure one or the other. But again, if we go to physics, this is going to be the right answer. If we just believe someone, again, that opens the door to being deceived, right?
Yeah.
So that's. But have you guys heard of this subject of people questioning the globe?
No.
No or no?
No.
How about this? Have you guys heard of flat earth?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So flat earth was a term that was propped up to be mocked. So that way people don't look into it because they just think it's ridiculous. The earth is not flat, right? Because the earth is not flat. No. Again, we just said it has high points and low points, mountains and valleys. So another thing is that this paper is flat, right?
Yeah.
But if it's at a tilt, it's not level, right? The earth is level. So again, the proper term is the earth is level, not flat, Yeah. So have you guys ever seen the stars, what they actually look like? I'm pretty sure you guys haven't, but look, let me just show you that real quick. So the stars, when you zoom into them with a powerful zoom camera, it looks like a light that's in water and it's just twinkling different colors, like a rainbow. Yeah, they look really pretty. And the planets, they look just like the stars. This is what the planets look like, Mars, Venus and stuff. This is when NASA shows a CGI cartoon of Jupiter and Mars, but this is what they actually look like. It's just a twinkling light. And they're the exact same distance as the stars. Because they tell us that the stars are trillions of miles away, and the planets are in our solar system. They're only millions of miles away.
Yeah.
But how is it that we're able to zoom into them and bring them into focus with the same zoom?
Yeah.
That tells us they're in the same distance. Another thing is 83 times zoom is nothing compared to trillions or millions of miles. So this tells us that these stars are literally right in our sky.
Yeah.
So some people think that there's like a ceiling above us because the earth is level. So people think there's a ceiling above us, and the stars are on the ceiling. It's probably no more than like 1,000 miles, maybe 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
And nobody really knows what these are, other than just the twinkling light in the sky. So NASA, right, and scientists, right, I would say they try to tell us what they are, the distance to them, right, and everything. I would say that's a religion, because every other religion also tries to tell you what they are. Christianity tells you that they're angels, right? And again, every religion has their own story of about what these things are, but nobody actually knows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would say the globe, the heliocentric model that we were taught, it's the modern day religion.
Yeah.
Everybody believes that religion. I used to believe it too. But do you guys have any questions about this? Like anything that
that
doesn't make
cool. Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. That's super cool.
No, yeah. So and one of the reasons why I'm out here doing this is because it's actually being censored. So online, so I came across this in 2016. That's when it actually exploded on the internet, on YouTube especially. And they started censoring in 2018, 2019. And the way they're doing it is they're not removing videos that talk about it, like this one, because that would be too obvious. Anybody talking about it and you get removed, that would be too obvious, right? So the way they're doing it is they're demoting all these videos. So, for example, if you search this topic... No, that's demonetization, but they're doing that too. Demoting is like when you search, even if you search for the title of a video, and it's like a really informative video, it won't come up. So you have to go through propaganda first. So when you put flat earth or globe lie in the search engine, it automatically triggers an algorithm now, and it just shows propaganda videos, like just ridicule videos, making fun of it. And so that's why I'm out here giving people direct links, because that way, if you're really interested in finding out what this place is, you guys can check it out in your free time.
All right.
And then here's one for you, and here's one for you. And There's a card in there as well. And again, I go out in public and speak to other people like this. And you could check out some of the other conversations I have, you know.
Well, that was so cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
that was really cool.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank
You guys have a good one.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Yeah. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Just asking the public, you know, if they think they're smarter than a fifth grader. You guys think you're smarter than a fifth grader?
I like to think so. I hope
Right,
so.
right.
College student.
So I have two very easy questions, elementary level, right? The first one's a perception test, and the second one's a measurement. So, all right, here we go. So one of these circles is slightly bigger than the other one, and I want to see if people could tell which one's the correct one. Which one's the bigger one?
You should be good at this.
Red or blue?
I don't think I'm gonna get this.
You said which one's smaller? And which
No,
one's
yeah, there's one that's slightly bigger than the other one, and I just want to see if people could tell which one's the bigger one, red or blue.
They look the same size to me, honestly.
I'm not sure that's cheating, but it's all I can look at.
No, you know, do whatever you need to do, you know.
So a fifth grader can answer this question?
Well, it's just kind of like, you know, to warm things up a bit, but I mean, just a perception test, anybody could answer it, you know.
Jeez. This is hard.
I think they're the same size.
What's your answer? My
That's
answer
my final
is-
answer.
I'm inclined to agree with you, but I feel like that's a
I think they're
cop-out.
the same size.
I'm gonna go with the blue one.
The blue one?
Yeah.
All right, cool. You got it. Yeah, it was a trick
Same
question.
size? Alright.
Yeah, it was a trick question. So you got it. So the reason why I started with this one is because just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, you know, right? But if you didn't believe me, so you know, went with your gut. Yeah, so that's good. So this next one, it's even easier. This one's an easy one, you know. So
Okay.
this is the elementary. So you guys know what this is, right?
Yeah, it's a level.
Yeah.
Leveling, right? What would be your definition of level?
That's a good question. I guess like a complete 180 degree, like it's completely even on.
Even, could we say horizontal? 90
Yeah,
degrees
horizontal.
from the vertical?
There you
90
go.
degrees,
That's a
right?
good way to
Yeah,
put it.
perpendicular, right? To the vertical, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So, and there's a reason why there's liquid in here. I don't know if you knew, but water always takes the shape of the container, and the surface always equalizes, evens out, or levels out, right? That's what water. That's why, you know, they're called water levels as well, spirit levels, right? So, since we understand what level means in the physics of water, which one of these two is correct? Again, this one's super easy, you know, A or B. Everybody gets this one right. A, right? That's the obvious.
Straight one. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the obvious answer. So the reason why I do this is because over 95% of the population, maybe even including you guys, because I did too, believe the answer is B, even though we know it's A. You guys want to know why?
What is that?
Do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
Is it ball?
Yeah, the Earth, a sphere, right? So NASA, they tell us that the Earth has a certain dimension because they orbit the Earth supposedly, right? So they have to know the radius of orbit. So they have to tell us the radius of the Earth. And they actually do. It's 3,959. These are the official numbers that they tell us. So there needs to be curvature 8 inches per mile squared. So what that means is at the first mile, there should be an 8-inch drop. Second mile, a 32-inch drop. By the third mile, it should be a 72-inch. And it keeps increasing because it's not a slope, it's a curve. So it gets more exponential the further you get. So by the third mile, there should be a 6-foot drop. So if we were to build a level structure over a body of water, like a lake, the body of water should be displaying this curvature if the Earth is a ball, right? If the level structure, the gap starts at 5 feet at the beginning of it, by the end, it should be 11 feet. There should be a 6-foot increase in the gap if the water is deviating from the horizontal, right? But in reality, we understand the physics of water is, you know, level. You guys understand you guys heard of this term sea level, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the reason why it's sea level is because if you're like 50 feet above sea level and then 100 miles away, 50 feet above sea level, you're on the same level, meaning straight line. You're on the same line. That's what that means. They're trying to tell us that level means curve. You want to know how they redefine the word? So the way they redefine level in mathematics to basically sell us this story of the globe is they redefine level as equal distance from the surface to the center of a sphere. So if you have a basketball and you go an inch above the basketball 45 degrees this way, an inch above 45 degrees this way, and an inch above in the middle, and you connect those dots, they're trying to say that that means level. But we know in reality, in construction, level means horizontal. You could even Google the definition of level. It's literally horizontal plane. So basically, we've been tricked. That's why I'm out here, because this information's been censored. I don't know if you guys heard of people that are questioning the globe,
Yes.
right? If I was to ask you guys, what's the number one proof that convinces you that the Earth is a globe?
I think the northern and southern hemispheres, the eye of the storm, spin a certain way.
Okay, so the Coriolis effect.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And what would be your number one proof that convinces you?
You know, I'd go with what she said.
Coriolis effect?
Yeah, it was just, I've heard that some of the weather events that we have wouldn't occur if we had
Okay.
that.
So,
Me too.
okay, so with the Coriolis effect, I would say that's a red herring. And with you know what a red herring means?
Not
Yeah.
really.
It's a false argument. And the reason why is because they're telling us that the physics of water are doing something contrary to what we experience, what everybody could test and use in reality, which is level. They're trying to tell us that it means something else. So focusing on cloud patterns, it's kind of irrelevant when we're talking about physically measuring the water in specific, because that's what the claim is, that water level means curve, right? So I would say that's kind of a red herring. Even saying that, oh, well, the sun is a circle or the moon is a circle, again, a red herring, because that has nothing to do with actually measuring the ground. You know what I'm saying? Nobody actually knows what the sun, moon, and stars actually are. That's actually a mystery in reality. Okay. You know, anybody trying to tell us what the stars, moon, and how this place came to be is just a religion. Anybody telling us. Every religion has a creation story, right? And every religion tries to tell us what the stars are. In Christianity, they say they're angels, right? The stars. And then what does a heliocentric model or government tell us? The stars are planetoids like Earth. They're terra firma, but again, just a religion, just a story. So the heliocentric model is the modern day religion, basically, that everybody believes. Because I used to believe it too. You know, I came across this 6 years ago. And the reason why I'm out here again is because it's being censored online. So when you search this topic, you'll get nothing but ridicule, literally. Any science channel, right, that has like a mainstream science channel, they'll never take this topic serious. Why? Because it would discredit every university, you know, it would discredit governments entirely, you know, and as a whole. It would expose them, you know, as they're fucking with us, basically, you know what I'm saying? So how long ago did you guys hear about people that question the globe, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably a long time ago. Like high school, maybe.
Oh, really? That goes that far? Because, well, I came across this 6 years ago. I'm almost 31, so I came across this when I was 24.
I was when we were in high school, basically.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's what year would you say?
2017.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's around it blew up. Actually, in 2015 is when it started coming out, like, but in 2016 it really blew up because a lot of people were checking out the information and seeing that, holy shit, everything we've been told is just a theory, and the theory is just someone's imagination. Again, a theory is just like someone's Bible scripture. Basically, it's just a story, you know, it's a fancy story, but they put scientific theory, they put the word science in front of theory, and then now people buy into it. And, you know, it's just word games that they're doing to us, you know, again, redefining level with words, but in reality, you know.
So out of curiosity, what do you think is their end goal? Like,
so my end goal is,
with them.
Oh, with them. Oh, okay. So why would they lie, right? Yeah. So again, I would say that's kind of irrelevant when it comes to establishing the shape of the earth, because you're jumping ahead without establishing a crime first, right? Because we want to find out if there's a crime first, then we can find a motive, right? But I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I'll let you guys know. So in my opinion, this is very surface level. NASA gets $60 million a day. First of all, a day, $60 million, just to present us with cartoons, basically. I admit they're CGI. There's no photographs of the Earth from space. You know, every space agency, you know, RASA, JAXA, you know, the European space, they're all CGI, and they admit it, you know. So I think they lie before money, obviously, $60 million a day, and they're lying because I think they're hiding extra land, more continents beyond what we think, you know. Well, we think it's a sphere, so it's very limited area. It's limited area, right? So it's kind of like a prison as well. Like a farm animal, you could put a fence around them and they won't be able to get over that fence. You can't do that with humans. So the globe is kind of like a mental prison to keep us here, because people think they're going to come back the same way, right? So that's not the real reason, though. So another reason is because, in my opinion, everybody knows compasses point north, right?
Yes.
There's an electromagnetic field that makes that happen. So in my opinion, the north, if you think Area 51 is like, what do you call it? Like very censored, right? Very restricted, right? The north is restricted. It's so restricted that it's not even talked about. The north, I don't know if you knew, but civilians, even airplanes, commercial airplanes, can't fly not even close, 60 degrees north, I think, parallel. They can't even fly that close to the north, because who knows what's at the north. I think they're hiding free energy. I think there's an enormous amount of energy being created in the north.
You mean the North Pole?
The North Pole, that's what I mean, yeah. So they try to tell us that there's two poles, right? One in the south as well, but there's only one pole. That second pole is just imaginary. So it's just, it's only one pole, which is at the center point. And when you go east and west, you're going 90 degrees from north, which would just be circles. You know what I'm saying? That's why compasses always force correct. If you go east or west, you have to always force correct, you know, because you're going to go off tangent if you just follow east straight. So east and west are just circles around a center point. And that's what it is. So they could be hiding, again, free energy. But ultimately, I don't think nobody knows the true nature of this place. And I think they take advantage of that. And basically, anybody trying to sell you a story about what this place is and why we're here and what we're supposed to do is just trying to control you. basically, because at the end of the day, nobody knows. It's kind of a free-for-all right here, right now. So that's what free will is, It's kind of bittersweet, free will, because they're using their free will to control the whole right now, and they're keeping us, just working. Money doesn't have real value, right? Money's just it's gotten to the point where it's not even backed up by gold anymore. Money it's not backed by gold anymore since the 70s. So it's literally just printing fiat, money, literally just out of thin air. So that's where the economy is going to collapse, But again, they have us all just confused, It's just about control, basically, at the end of the day.
And just to touch on the more land, that obviously means there could be more resources.
Yeah, more
They want us to
resources,
believe
yeah.
resources here are
Limited, yeah, that's
So
another,
stay
yeah.
here,
Yeah, so that we don't leave, basically. So
But again, they're just
it's a psychological attack,
just theories.
basically.
I mean, only the people controlling or the people taking part in it
Right.
know what the true reason is.
Right.
We can only speculate.
Right. So here's the thing. People say like, well, how can so many people be in on this, right? Somebody would have been a whistleblower right now, right? But so here's the thing. Astronauts 100% are in on this. But I think astronauts are lying, obviously, because they're not really going in these rockets, They supposedly go in them. But I think they obviously come out because I don't know if you heard of the Challenger disaster, right? I don't know if you heard about that. All the astronauts supposedly died that were in that rocket because it exploded out of nowhere when they shot it up. All those astronauts are still alive. They found them. They found their pictures. They're the same name and everything. And they put the pictures right next to them, 20 years older, basically. And they found all the astronauts. So in other words, nobody goes in these rockets. It's just fireworks that they shoot up for the public, And they always go in a curve. And then when they go out of sight, they switch to CGI, So, and the reason why they do that, because in my opinion, nobody has been higher than 20 miles. 20 miles is the limit that anybody has ever been. So, have you guys seen the Red Bull jump, the Felix Gumberg or something like that? A Red Bull jump? No? He supposedly went to the edge of space, supposedly.
Oh, he just like jumped off.
Yeah, and he just jumped off like a capsule.
And he went faster than the speed of...
Something like that, yeah, there you go, something like that. So he actually did go up, and the funny thing is that he used a giant helium balloon, and a lot of amateur balloons have been sent up. So a lot of people like me and you, hundreds, have they been sending up balloons without GoPro lenses, because I don't know if you know GoPros, they have a fisheye lens, so they curve, they warp the image. These are without that, and it's a perfectly level horizon, 20 miles up. So when the Red Bull jump happened, it was literally 118,000 feet, which is right under 20 miles, literally 19 point something miles. And he was using a GoPro. So if people seen that, you could you could look for it on YouTube, and you'll see that he's using a GoPro. But then there's a camera inside of the capsule. When they open the thing, you could see the horizon right in front. It rose to ice level and it's horizontal. So yeah, this is the reason why I'm out here again. It's being censored. It's a pretty big topic. I mean, do you have any questions? I mean, anything any main points that you think that?
Admittedly, this is something I've never really looked into myself.
I know. I'm glad you admit that, because, that's usually the majority of people. And then when somebody does have a curiosity to look into it, when you go research it on YouTube or Google, again, just ridicule. And then, I'm not going to lie, when people ridicule this, especially experts, right? It does make you feel like, oh, damn, I don't want to be dumb, right? And then it does make you feel like doubt your own senses. And that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make you doubt your own common sense. Because if you doubt your common sense, you have no common sense. Think about that. If you're doubting your own common sense, then what are you basing your reality on? What people tell you? That's insane. You know what I'm saying? That's a religion, 100%, if you just believe what people tell you, So again, I go with physics, understand how water behaves, how air pressure behaves. Because here's the thing, outer space, obviously, they tell us that it's negative pressure, right? Next to Earth's pressure, right? But in order to have two opposing pressure systems, for example, like the tire in your car, that has like 55 PSI, right? Out here, they tell us it's 14.7 PSI, the air we breathe. So that obviously, like when you fill up a football, it has to have higher pressure. That's how it stays inflated, right? What happens when you punch a hole in that ball?
Deflates because it's reaching equilibrium.
Exactly, the air equilibrates. That's the physics of pressure, air pressure, basically. So they're trying to tell us that outer space is an infinite vacuum next to Earth's pressure without equilibrium happening. You know what I'm saying? That defies physics. You know what the explanation is? Gravity. Gravity's holding the air in. But again, gravity is just a theory. I don't know if you guys knew. You guys know Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah.
Oh, you know Neil deGrasse Tyson? Can I show you a 20-second clip real quick? They ask him about gravity, just because a lot of people, gravity is like the main thing they can't let go, right? But in my opinion, the reason why things drop, like when I let this go and it comes, in contact with this, it's a phenomenon. You know what a phenomenon means, right? So nobody actually knows why things drop. So that's why gravity is a theory. Again, it's just to sell the globe. But here, let me see if I can find it real quick. It's in. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Huh. Okay, here we go. I mean, any other points like that you have? I mean,
I'm just kind of curious, dude. What are your opinions on climate change?
Climate change. So climate change to me, again, I actually don't have beliefs anymore. So it's either I know something or I don't. So when it comes to climate change, I don't really know what's going on. There's a lot of talk about that climate is being manipulated. I don't know if you knew NASA can create giant clouds and literally make it rain. You know, so again, when it comes to climate change, I don't know if it's a natural thing that's happening or if it's something that we're kind of, I don't know if you've noticed the chemtrails, these are not natural clouds. These, you know what I'm saying? Clouds are puffy, you know, they have geometry to them, right? These are just, you know, it's just a sheet of fog, basically. You know, that's what chemtrails are. I think that's kind of affecting the weather. It could be, you know what I'm saying? So climate change, again, it could be something that our governments are doing. But again, this is my opinion. I don't really like to get into that because, again, it has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth, you know. But
what started you on this journey?
So to be honest, I was a space junkie. So I believed, you know, everything about space, you know, everything about the planets. I would fantasize about, you know, other creatures from other planets and how they would look like, right? About aliens, right? So funny thing is, there was a video that came up on YouTube, Flat Earth versus Globe, right? I was like, it's ridiculous, right? I didn't even click it. So it came up, it kept coming up like 3 times. So my curiosity got the best of me. I finally clicked it, and it just explained the physics of water and how everything we've been told, again, is just a theory. And I was just shocked. I was like, I cross-reference, obviously, what you know, what the videos were saying. I make sure, you know, that's true, that these pictures are not photographs and, you know, all this stuff. And then just little by little, and again, I would have not been out here if it wasn't being censored, because most people would have came across it like I did and understood it right away. And literally, they know that. And that's why, again, this is being demoted. You know, that's how they're censoring it. They're literally just ridiculing it and demoting it. They're not removing it.
In what way do you think it's censored? Because like you said, you found it online.
Exactly. No. So that was in 2016. Okay. In 2018, 2019, they admit, there's actually in Congress, there's a video, you could find it. They actually admit that the way they're censoring it is they're demoting it. So again, they're not removing this video. So when you search, you know, this topic, you're not gonna get any genuine people like me or anyone else talking about it. You're only gonna get people ridiculing it and just dismissing it, hand wave dismissing, and just, it's ridiculous. I'm not even gonna waste my time. You know, again, the proofs are just gonna be looking at the sky or, you know, things that have nothing to do with measuring the Earth. All red herrings, basically. Literally, that's it. You're gonna see that, you know, if you look into this. You know, but here, let me give you some info though before you guys leave, because again, you won't come across this, but again, you guys should cross-reference, you know, cross-reference. There's some websites there, and then, and I have a channel as well. I have conversations like this, you know, in different public areas, and, you know, but, yeah, I'm glad, let me see, I have the iCloud video. Okay, here we go. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. Let me just show you that real quick. There we go. Okay. Okay. Video. Okay. It's 20 seconds. They asked Neil deGrasse Tyson what gravity is. Oh.
What is gravity?
I have no idea. Okay, next question. Wow. Here's the difference. We can describe gravity. We can say what it does to other things. We can...
A little shaky.
We can measure it, predict with it. But when you start asking, like, what it is, I don't know.
So the reason why, so what they measure is the rate of which things drop, right? That's 9.8 meters per second squared. That's what they tell us for the first 3 seconds. And then after that is just the constant rate. So 9.8 meters per second is the measurement of which things drop, but that's a measurement of speed, which is the effect of things falling. It's not a measurement of the cause of why things drop. Again, it's a phenomenon. Nobody really knows why things drop, you know, again, but they're hijacking that phenomenon and then putting their own story, just like the stars. They're hijacking the phenomenon of the stars, that they're there, and then putting their own story, again, to fit this model, to make you believe that water does this. Again, they're going to focus on everything else but water, because again, water is going to show you that they're bullshit, that they're fucking lying, you know? And that's why they will avoid any experiment like this. And just a quick heads up, an experiment you will come across in the mainstream is laser experiments. But And the reason, exactly, and I'm gonna tell you why those are flawed and pushed is because what happens when you shine a laser in water? Does it continue to go straight? It diffracts. There's refraction, right? I don't know if you knew, air is like water. It's a moisture, basically. So when you shine a laser through the air, guess what's going to happen? There's always going to be refraction. It's impossible to suck the air out of the earth completely. Right? Where's the air going to go to? You know what I'm saying? You can't suck the air out of the earth. So that experiment is always going to be faulty. It's never going to be conclusive, and they always want people just confused in the middle. You know, a physical structure, there's no excuses of, oh, there's refraction going on. Like, no, we built it perfectly straight. There's not going to be any excuses at that point. But they're never going to do this. They'll never do this experiment. NASA could easily do this experiment with their $60 million budget. This won't cost them more than $1 million. You know, perfectly level structure over a body of water, no more than $1 million. But they'll never do it to prove the globe because, again, it doesn't exist. You know, it only exists as a cartoon, basically, a CGI. You know.
Right.
You know.
Well,
No?
it's fascinating stuff, man. I'm gonna
No, yeah, I'm glad you guys stopped and talked to me, man, because, you know, a lot of people are antisocial, you know. I'm noticing that, and, hopefully, we start turning things around, people start talking more, and maybe, we could get out of the shithole we're in right now,
COVID changed a lot for everyone.
That's another thing, man, like, that whole thing, oh my God, I think it was literally to slow this down. That was my opinion, because a lot of people are not coming out and doing this yet, but eventually they are,
I've seen a lot of these. Yeah, like back where I live in my university, there was like a whole stand.
But was it about this though?
Yeah, I think they brought up similar points. I didn't really.
Oh
speak with
really?
them,
Oh
it was
okay.
pretty popular, so
Oh really?
that was-
Oh wow. Yeah. Because I actually like I said, I've been into this for a while, and there's a few people that I see do this as well. I mean, a handful, no more, but I would say that their approach is not that great. A lot of people leave confused still. They think they're crazy when they leave after. There's a lot of like arguing going on, and it's like there's no conversations really going on,
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's
hard to challenge your.
yeah, that's another thing. You have to be an open-minded person to actually look into this, because if you're very close-minded, as in, you just go with what you think you know, then you're never going to learn, That's the only way to learn is somebody challenging your current beliefs, It's the only way to learn and grow, But yeah.
Nice talking to you, bro.
No, yeah, nice talking to you,
See
man.
you guys, all right?
Yeah, thanks for talking. Yeah. All right, have a good one. All right.